This is a sniper build that uses the Ninja Bike bag. It's a hybrid between Sentries and Deadeye, using the classifieds obviously because they have the higher rolls. And this build definitely, which I will prove to you guys, stands a chance against your standard Nomad, Predator, Striker, all the other top builds out right now. So we're going to start things off with the gear that we're using, then I'll get to the weapons, then I'll get to the talents, the mods, and then of course the skill talents, and then I'll finish it off by showing you guys what the critical hit chance, weapon damage, and all that other good stuff is. So we'll start off with the chest piece. On the chest piece I'm running firearms, obviously, and then health, which is very strong on the chest piece. You always want to have health. And then, because I've got low skill power and I'm not relying on my skills much, I've been keeping the health on kill, although I could roll it off if I wanted to. This is on personal preference, guys. Health on kill is good because it's good for survivability on a build like this. Plus, you will be getting kills from afar a lot, whether it be on NPCs or players. So, yeah, it's up to you. You could toggle it the way you want. I prefer health on kill. Also, guys, this build is good for group play or solo play. It's just if you use this build for solo play, you have to know how to take your battles. You need to know that you're a sniper. You're not meant to be up in the front lines. You have to take your battles in your favor every time. And I guarantee you, you'll see results with this, even against the other top builds out there right now. Also, we've got the mask, which I have rolled into firearms again. I prefer damage to elites at all costs because I want to be able to farm NPCs as well, although this is a PvP build. And then critical hit chance. Now I know what you guys are saying. I'm running Deadeye. Why am I running critical hit chance? It's a wasted stat. Well, I'm using the 2-piece Deadeye with the Ninja Bike bag and the 3-piece Sentry. So the 3-piece Sentry turns into the 4 because of the bag. And the headshots using semi-automatic weapons, they mark them. So that's you could get up to 15% damage if you hit 3 headshots on the same target. Yes, this is a PvP build. Yes, it works on people. There's a strategy that I use to be able to hit people in the head even if they're moving around, which I'll show you guys right after I'm done showing you the build that I do on NPCs. I've practiced on NPCs for a long time. I was a PVE farmer for a huge portion of playing this game, and what I've come to find is if you quick aim, if you will, that's what I believe it's called, at an NPC or a player, the auto aim assist generally takes it to the direction of their head or their body in general. So I treat players like NPCs, and it works. The button layout on the bottom, this is not PC, and it still works on console. I will have footage for you guys to see afterwards to prove that this strategy does work, and that people should be giving this a try because snipers need love, and they could definitely see love if they just used the tools that they have with them. Auto aim assist. The SASG shotgunners use it. Whatever's left of the M870 users, I know they're still out there. Snipers can use it too. So, knee pads. Standard firearms. You want as much firearms as possible. Critical hit damage, because you're going to be focusing on your critical hits, even though you're not a Deadeye. You'll see in a second what it could go up to. And then bleed resistance and disorient resistance. Damage to elites I rolled on purpose because I want to be able to do extra damage to elite enemies, because I want to be able to use this build to farm or PvP. It's primarily PvP, but it can farm as well. On the Ninja Bike bag, firearms once again. Critical hit damage, ammo capacity. Ammo capacity's not too important, but you wanted it on at least one of the two. And since I don't have it on the chest piece, I made sure to have it on the bag. So, and then critical hit damage, once again, if you want health to be not as squishy, then you can opt for that. It's not really that much of a change. But as you could see, my toughness is at 384, which is higher than I would say a Deadeye. Deadeye usually has around 300k, so this build is not as squishy as a Deadeye build would be, but it still hits just as hard. You just have to hit the head, which is not as hard as people make it out to be. Trust me on this, guys. The gloves, once again, standard DPS build gloves. You got the firearms, you've got the marksman rifle damage, critical hit damage, and then critical hit chance, because once again, you don't have the 100% from the Deadeye. So you want to be able to hit your crits as much as possible. Holster. Holster kind of speaks for itself. Critical hit chance is the go-to, and then the rest of the rolls are there. Now the mods, I am running 266 1% critical hit chance mods on every single thing here, just to show you guys, because we want to hit our crits as much as possible. So, and I wanted to not be completely squishy, so I put these on. There's the critical hits, and then the performance mods on each piece is pulse critical hit chance. No damage, because you're going to have high enough damage. You want to be able to critical hit with your sniper at all costs. So one of those. So when I hit a pulse, it increases the chances of critting. Now for the sniper, M700 carbon, prepared, staple with most snipers, deadly because you want your critical hits to hit harder. If I could find an M700 carbon that has prepared and deadly already on it, because you say I rolled deadly there, then I would roll elevated off for competent to be able to hit even harder when I pop a skill. But because I've found that elevated does not really, it's very situational, so I don't really find many good times to use it. I mean, it could hit hard when you're in the situation, but you're not always in that situation. So I think competent would just be more versatile and better than elevated would be. So, but that's preference. Secondary, if they run up to you, I've got a house. Don't have Unforgiving unlocked because I use this house for a striker and only have one house. But the base damage is not bad, plus you're going to have a high critical hit chance and damage. So if you have to pull it out, if they're in your face, you have the ability to burst them down. You just can't really face tank. You need to try and outmaneuver them. But you really also keep in mind, if they do get in your face, you'll most likely have a mark or two on them, so the house will be doing even more damage based off of the sentry marks. So pistol's not really too important. You can use them to mark enemies or players sometimes, but the real basis is you're trying to get people down with the sniper. So but the pistol's there if you need it. Okay, so now we're gonna go into the skills. I opt to run the recon pack because it's got the shortest cooldown of the three, and it's got the highest critical hit chance that it gives you, and it's got the most range. The only thing it doesn't do is it doesn't conceal you, it doesn't give you extra damage. I just feel like this is better to be able to constantly pulse more often, to be aware of your surroundings more often. It's, once again, based off of preference. I prefer that. And then standard immunizer. It's good for cleansing yourself really quick. It gives me a better heal than a first aid would because my skill power is very low. So when you destroy it, it gives you 33% of your health back, and the cooldown's not so bad as well. And now, talents. Here's where it could get interesting. So you want precision, because if your pulse is not up, because it doesn't want to have 100% uptime, and you want to have that extra critical hit chance, then you're going to hit a headshot on someone no matter what, because the basis of the build is to hit a headshot. So when you hit the headshot, you're going to pulse them for 10 seconds, which will give you the extra critical hit chance and damage against the target. So, also, one is none. Once again, based off of headshots, you headshot a hostile to have 50% chance of not consuming the bullet. So it could give you a better chance of having more bullets in your gun as you're shooting the targets, because the basis of the build is to be headshots. I've got Combat Medic on right now because I was rolling with the group, but you could use Strike Back, which reduces your skill cooldowns. You could even use Steady Hands, which reduces the recoil when you enter the cover. it's very good for sniper builds because that recoil reduction comes in handy when you're trying to aim down sights and there's people running around all over the place. It can help. I've even tried stopping power before. You just shoot your house at a hostile that's in cover, they're suppressed, and all of a sudden your headshot damage is increased by 25%, which is huge on a player. So, and then of course, critical save, it's standard. I haven't seen a reason not to use this in every single build that I've ever used. So, yeah. So, in conclusion of this, guys, it's definitely a decent solo build and group build. It's very good in a group setting because your teammates will be effectively distracting them, which gives you a chance to hit those really big hits. In solo play, it's more better to be hunting rogues, I would say, than to be going rogue yourself, because if you have all the aggro on you, it's very, very tough to deal with that, especially people that are just going to be running up in your face and trying to burst you down. So it's a good rogue hunter when you're solo too, so don't fret. Solo players can use this build too. So I'm going to be showing you guys some gameplay. First gameplay is going to be of how I was able to get decent at hitting headshots on people by doing it against NPCs, because it's the same concept. You treat the people like an NPC, it works the same. The auto aim assist works the same in both regards. And then I'll be showing you guys numerous clips on how well I've been doing it in PvP. It really works. It's a good support build too, because you're marking the enemies of your allies, and your allies do 5% more damage for every mark. Target, all of your allies on your squad are going to do extra damage to whoever you just marked. So, last but not least, before I show you guys those clips, I'm just going to show you guys the attributes and weapon damage for people that want to see. The critical hit chance is 27.5% base on the sniper rifle, which is, when you couple that with the pulse, which gives you 16%, that's a pretty high crit hit chance for the sniper. And if you get a crit hit headshot, you add both of those multipliers together, it hits harder than Deadeye would, and you're not as squishy as Deadeye, not even close to being as squishy as Deadeye. So that's definitely something to consider. So I'll bring you guys to some gameplay now. You guys take it easy.
Your team disavowed a division. Team is now armed rogue.